At the end of his life, Edward Jenner said, "I'm not surprised that men are not thankful to me, but I wonder that they are not grateful to God for the good which He has made me the instrument of conveying to my fellow creatures." This quote shows how oblivious many people were towards Jenner's discoveries. Today, I'd like to inform you about how Edward Jenner revolutionized the way we look at certain diseases that were once thought to be incurable and unstoppable through the creation of vaccinations. Jenner's creation of the smallpox vaccine was arguably the biggest turning point in healthcare today, being the man named to have saved more lives than the work of any other human. As a nursing assistant in a hospital and a nursing student, I've learned so many things about Edward Jenner and the impacts he has made on the healthcare industry and the way he's revolutionized it. To understand the impacts that Jenner made on healthcare industry, let's look at three main points: his background in health and zoology, the invention of the smallpox vaccine, and his later life and further discoveries. Let's start with his background in health and zoology. He started his surgeon apprenticeship at age 14, where he eventually became a family doctor and a surgeon. He studied the cuckoo bird, he got married, and he had studies in angina pectoris, which is chest pain. Later on in life, he invented the smallpox vaccine. During my audience analysis, a lot of people didn't really know who he was and thought that the creation of the smallpox vaccine was wrong because he inoculated normal people and could have made them very sick. People thought he was downright crazy. Inoculation was around, but it was very risky at the time. My question that I posed in my audience analysis was, do you think that what Edward Jenner did in his experimentation was morally or ethically wrong, even though smallpox is now eradicated due to his discoveries? My responses included examples of how they would feel if their families had been inoculated and how they would have handled that. But they didn't look at the big picture. During his discoveries, Jenner noted milkmaids being immune to the smallpox. He later discovered that it was from the pus in the blisters of cows that had cowpox, and the milkmaids who were around smallpox didn't get the same effect that others did. He later inoculated his neighbor child who was 8 years old, and all it did was cause a fever and some uneasiness, and the tests were positive, and he was immune to smallpox. In his later life, he was no longer to work in the medical practice. The severity of the smallpox went down after he returned to London, and it was such a great thing for him to have seen when he came back. He ended up becoming the physician of King George IV and the medical mayor of Berkeley. He ended up dying at age 73, and smallpox became eradicated in 1979. In conclusion, Edward Jenner's creation of vaccines was one of the biggest turning points in healthcare today, being named the man to have saved more lives than anyone. Through Jenner's background in zoology, the invention of the smallpox vaccine, and his later life and discoveries further on, healthcare has been revolutionized in the way diseases are looked at still today. Edward Jenner had said before his death, "I hope that someday the practice of producing cowpox in human beings will spread over the world. When that day comes, there will be no more smallpox." And it is so incredible that this has since become true.